I'm going to speak about how fraternities and sororities are misrepresented and stereotyped by the media. When Greek life is portrayed, its members become off as ditzy, rich, preppy party animals. Granted, there are people in sororities and fraternities that do not fit this profile, but then there are non-Greek students who act like that as well. Through television shows, internet, social media, and movies, we have been exposed to only one side of Greek life. The media has shaped all blonde sorority girls as stupid. How come no one notices what is essentially a group of like-minded people who throw killer parties and spend more time than the average student supporting a charity? The question is, why are they always being played as drunks with no intelligence or purpose? Through movies, Greeks have not been given the best reputation. We see the dumb blonde in Legally Blonde, who is in a sorority called Delta Nu, which is based off of Delta Gamma, American Pie Beta House, which shows slutty girls and boys as pigs, and Bad Neighbors, which depicts drugs, alcohol, and public disturbance from a fraternity. Fraternities and sororities have been misrepresented and given a bad reputation because of these types of scenes and images shown in movies on the big screen. As a result, Greek organizations are doing all they can to change their public image and work harder than ever to end the bad stereotypes. In addition to movies, television reports have also focused on only one viewpoint of the Greek community. The news will focus on Welcome Week parties and fraternity scandals, making them into a large story, and forgetting about the many different faces that are members of the Greek community, and also the good they do for not only their schools, but for the world around. When we search for the keyword fraternities and sororities on Google, these are some of the top stories that come up: scandals, drinking, accidents, and sexual assault. Although these are not stories to be looked over, not one story about the good that organizations do was listed as a major hit on Google. Because the stories covered by Greek life do regard very harsh and serious matters, they mold a stereotype and bias that many people have of all members of the Greek community. Stories of things such as hazing, intense partying, and social discrimination do not apply to all members of Greek life. Many organizations actually work towards fighting these stereotypes, with campaigns saying "these hands don't haze," have strict rules on how to act socially, and hold high GPA requirements. Many members of organizations are of all races and ethnicities as well. When you search on Google misconceptions of Greek organizations, these are some of the hits that come up. Fraternity and sorority men and women are offended by the way the media has shaped the public's view of them. The writers of the blog Total Frat Move have been a major influence on how the public thinks fraternities and sororities work. Although the blog may be entertaining to read, it is actually a complete satire meant to give sensational representations of Greek life. These stories may be true, but they give the reader the wrong meaning of what being in a fraternity is actually about. This can either turn someone against a fraternity or give them unrealistic expectations of joining a frat. To combat this bad reputation the media has given us on Greek life, members of organizations are taking a stand by launching campaigns to show they are more than what you think. These pictures show members of the sorority Delta Gamma and that they are more than their stereotype. What the media doesn't show is that Greek life raises millions of dollars every year towards their philanthropies. These stories do not show up in the media and are not the first thing you think about when a Greek organization comes to conversation. Organizations host events all year to raise money for their philanthropies. Some of the organization's philanthropies include Domestic Violence Awareness, Ronald McDonald House, Women's Heart Health, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Service for Sight, Prevent Child Abuse America, and the Wounded Warriors Project. Greek life is also framed as paying for friendships, when you really meet your best friends, and many times your bridesmaids, through these organizations. Friendships are made that last forever, and you're able to share 4 years together doing events, raising money for a good cause, and building bonds between sisters that will be remembered through life. In addition to friendship, the media also forgets to speak about the numerous opportunities that arise from joining a Greek organization. As a member of Greek life, you are a member of a team, which directly applies to the workplace. Alumni members of Greek organizations often reach out to sisters or brothers to offer. In class, we spoke about fantasy. When we mix fiction and news, you diminish the distinction between truth and fiction. By doing this, the audience has less of a power to judge what is true and made up. By portraying Greek life in this negative light, whether it be in movies, the news, or blogs, Readers do not know what is true and what is false about Greek organizations. Fantasy cannot be mixed with truth. I believe it is also important for reporters to remember to adopt an objective viewpoint when reporting stories on Greek life. Reporters do report on factual situations, but tend to focus only on the occasional bad scandals that occur. It is ethically important for reporters to share stories on not only bad things, but also good ones, which we do not see. It may be hard for reporters to frame Greek life positively if they have had prior viewpoints they believe are. In order for a journalist to gain respect, credibility, and trust from their audience, they must report the truth. There are ethical guidelines in place for journalists to follow to enable them to gain trust and respect from their audience. It is important for journalists to tell the truth because the public depends on them. The public depends on journalists every day for information going on in their town as well as their country. Credibility is key, but also portraying a community such as the members of Greek life can be difficult when stories are only shown of bad things. To show the truth, the good must be reported as well, from all viewpoints. Mass media is perhaps the most powerful tool in the world for creating, changing, or perpetuating a society's ideas about an issue or a group of people. It works both overtly and subconsciously, deciding which issues are important and how to frame them. Greek life is highly misrepresented by the media, which causes a domino effect on how the world will accept it.